Well, good afternoon. We have some special people here today, and this is Theresa and Percel Watkins. I have worked with them at Carolina Bible Camp Week 1 for I don't know how many years now, but we'll get to that on finding out how many years they've been part of CBC. They're a wonderful, godly couple that I tell you what, when you get to meet them, you know that they love God and they love these kids at Carolina Bible Camp, and it's always been a real joy to work with them and see them every year, my brothers and sisters in Christ, and it's just been a blessing. And so the one question that I kind of been starting up with everybody, and Week 1 ended yesterday, and that's usually a sorrowful day because you don't want it to end, but you know that you'll be back next year. So what's it feel like to you guys to know that we've missed Carolina Bible Camp Week 1 for the first time in a while?
Yeah, it's kind of it's a sad time in a lot of ways. It's been a special part of our lives for a number of years, and just the connecting with the staff and the kids, and being a kid again ourselves during that time
Yes.
is something we really miss. So yeah,
it's definitely very different. I know our kids feel a little odd with things this time of year with the COVID and all that, and so it's kind of thrown things off. But they definitely miss that time as well. And we always use it as a family time as well. It's kind of like a family time together to get away. So it is very different not having that.
Yeah, and even in the preparation for teaching, that's kind of a process too. We spend some weeks leading up to week 1 getting lessons together, and it's a growth time for us when we would be teaching too. So yeah, so we miss all of that.
Well, I miss seeing you walk across campus with all your stuff going from one class to another. You need a little dolly or a wagon to carry around with. I might have seen you actually do that one time.
I know, exactly. Come up with a little cart to transport everything. Yeah.
Well, I know that your kids went a couple of years before y'all actually started working, didn't they?
Not quite. Yeah, when our kids first started going, we actually started in 2009 going to week 4.
Okay.
And I went with the kids then, and then we had some experience with week 5, and eventually made our way to week 1 and never left week 1. So for this time. So and Percel, he kind of came along later.
Right, like 2012, so it was later.
Yeah. We had to twist your arm, didn't we?
Well, with work and everything else, it's like, okay, take a whole week of vacation for this, wasn't it? But it turned out to be a tremendous family vacation time.
Isn't that neat how it really gets a hold of you, that first time you're there?
Yeah.
Well, so how many years have y'all been part of CBC now? I think you said since 2009, so 11 years.
2009 was the first time that any of us went, and then we moved to New York later in 2009, so we missed a year. We missed 2010, and
at another camp then.
Yeah, went to another camp in upstate New York, and then we moved back south here in 2011, and we've pretty much been coming to CBC since 2011.
All right.
So, not all the time again with week 1, but it was week 5, and again we started with week 4. So
it's amazing how many different people from different weeks of camp that become part of your family, isn't it?
Oh sure. Oh sure. Yeah. It's like people age up, So,
yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, what keeps bringing you back to camp?
It's a lot of great connections. Again, it's kind of a utopic environment, and Kirk Sam's always been good to remind us that the same thing we have there, we have outside of camp. But, sometimes we tend to forget that it's a special place. I think there's probably some paraphernalia around that says CBC is a special place. And
yeah,
it really is, with the kids, the Bible focus, this other staff. Of course, the meals are pretty good too, Casey.
You don't go hungry. It's your own fault.
Canteen's pretty nice, and the craft station. So many wonderful memories, so many awesome parts of CBC that keeps us coming back. So
yeah, we talk about how when we drive into that, once we drive past the gate and we start to go up the gravel road, how we're just kind of, it's like you just left the whole world outside of there, right?
Yeah.
That is very true. In fact, that's probably the thing that I would, if I say what draws me back, it's that kind of environment where I can go and just focus on God and focus on relationships there and helping people grow with the family as well. And for me, it's just a great time of reflection and getting away. So if I could pick kind of my ideal vacation, that almost fits it because I have a chance to get away. I can get up early in the morning, go running there, and I can be out by myself and pray. Our staff devotionals where we come together and pray, and it just the environment is just very much set for me to be able to relax in a way with my Lord, which I love, and I think that's pretty awesome.
Well, you're doing so much work for the kids, but you get so much out of it. Your recharge, your spiritual recharging. That's what I always look at it.
Amen.
And when you think about it, as we come in to the camp, we always we leave the worries of the world out there, past those gates. But when we leave, we take so much more with us, and the impact that we can make on people outside of there, just from what we learned at camp, is amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
I am amazed at how the kids change so much too, just watching them there. And we had at least one that was troubled at times, but it's amazing how we went through some really tough times. But on the way back, he was just like, "Man, I can't wait to return." And I'm sitting there going, "But you were the one that acted up."
Well, how old's your youngest now?
Our youngest is 15 and a half. Yeah.
And so just a couple more years with her at camp, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And that's always neat when you watch them. My kids, this would have been Amia's last year as a keeper. And we hope this coming summer that those kids can come back and do the junior counseling week 1. That's what we're hoping for. Is there a favorite memory you want to share with us about camp? Something that means something special to you guys?
Well, I think I would say among the favorite memories, there is a young lady who came to camp with us from our congregation here at Hickory, and her making the decision to put Christ on in baptism while we were there. And that may have been her first summer, and her mom was working with us that summer at camp, and just seeing that happen, seeing her being transformed from the lessons and the other kids and all of that, that's really powerful. And every time, again, when we would be in a class or in the cafeteria talking with a kid, and they would say something, or in the class when they would get the lesson and share something powerfully about how they were impacted by the lesson, that always moves me as well. But just having that one young lady make that commitment to Christ while we were there. That was one of my first summers there. That was pretty awesome.
Powerful. Percel?
There are so many. But, there are really funny ones from you going down the slide that I remember.
Those were fun.
That was great. I remember that so well. To the time that David came to me right afterwards. I think you guys have been in the devotional with him, and he came to me and said, "I'm thinking about being baptized." And I remember going, "Wow," right? And it was just, we had that heart-to-heart talk, because one of the things I've always tried to do is essentially to talk them out of it initially.
Yes, yeah.
Talk them out of it, they aren't really ready. And he was right on the edge of going, not going, and I was just able to talk him out. And I'm always happy to go, "Man, I hate I talked him out of it." But then, 2 weeks later, he was baptized. Right? So
that's awesome. Yeah.
He had to make that decision. But things like that just are really getting to the core of what it's about, right? Being able to enjoy ourselves, but focus on what's most important.
Amen to that. Amen to that. How many stories can be told about that over the years? All the people that have gone to camp, and I can remember when Amia came up to me and wanted to be baptized at camp, and I tell you, that photo that I have of us in the pool, and it just sticks out and reminds me so much. So it's always special. So if you had a new kid come up to you and say, "Hey, I'm thinking about going to Carolina Bible Camp," what would you say to them?
Just do it.
Just do it. There you go.
Come with an open mind, ready to, make some new friends, and then also look for somebody that you can be a friend to.
Mm-hmm.
Come with the intention to learn more about Christ, and share too, how your life has been affected by Christ at this point, which has come with expectation to have fun and to grow and to really be a kid, to be a kid while learning more about Christ in a special place.
Yeah, I agree. I think it'd be come learn to have fun in a positive way, and I mean a lot of fun,
Yeah.
and just with a way that helps you grow that you can never get any other way. That it's just pretty special.
Yeah, I missed out on going to camp like that, you know.
No, sure. Yeah.
You know, I think about Melissa, you know, all the years that she went to camp and as a staff and all that, you know, so much more experience and growing up in that atmosphere is pretty neat.
Oh yeah, yeah. But it's so wonderful you've been able to pass it on to your daughters, so and everything. So and be able to serve
Precious
along.
memories.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Well, this last question I'm going to ask you, you know, and I would struggle trying to answer this question, so I'm going to make y'all struggle as well. So if there's one person or multiple people that made an impact on you or left an impression on you, either staff or a camper, who would that be?
Mhm. Yeah, it's always challenging. I probably go between Kirk and yourself.
Oh, thank you, brother.
Just really incredible impressions on me. The way you just completely are crazy sometimes and have fun, and yet come back to what's most important in the spiritual things. And that mixture of that craziness and the spirituality is just, it's really left an impression on me that says, you know, it's okay to just act a little crazy, right? To have fun, right? We're, you know, it's just a part of who we are, and yet don't lose sight of what's most important even in that. And I think that's pretty awesome. And I love the way Kirk does that. I love the way you do that.
Well, thank
And
you.
that really encourages me a lot.
That means a lot to me.
Yeah, yeah. I would say, yeah, it's hard to nail down one person, but definitely I think of those who serve kind of behind the scenes, you know, like Barry Woodhouse, who was such a blessing in the cafeteria, and he exemplified service, and Casey Lancaster the same way in the cafeteria. They modeled giving of themselves. In the couple of instances I had to work in the cafeteria alongside them was just a real blessing. And then of course Kirk Sams and you and the leadership capacities that you all had with week one, and just kept that week on an awesomely high spiritual plane, not just for the campers but for all of the staff and everyone who passed through there, and yet you all were intent on having fun too. And the ways y'all connected with the teens and the junior staff, we can't even comprehend. And we're just eternally grateful for that.
Amen.
Thank you.
Indeed, we miss week one for that reason.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Kirk got so connected with kids, you know, so even after finishing week one, a week or two later, he would come through and pick up kids, taking them to Freed Hardman for their for their camp over there. So he really didn't get enough.
Well, it's usually he was leaving Friday night from week 3, picking up kids heading to Horizons, and I was like, I'm dragging by that time. I'm like, how do you do it? Yeah, he's a true blessing to us, that's for sure. He's given a lot over the years to these kids, and you know, if we just had an ounce of energy that he has,
oh sure, exactly.
His kingdom would be great. God's kingdom, you know, we can do so much more. Well, as we come to a close here, I do want to thank you too for the time that you spent with me here. It's just been a few minutes, but most importantly for the time that you spent at Carolina Bible Camp teaching our kids. And who knows how many kids have gone through over the years that y'all have been teaching. I know there's been a lot since I've been there, and we have great opportunities to keep doing that. And I hope to be alongside of y'all teaching the gospel to these kids, and I really look forward to next year to be back stronger than ever. We'll be even rested more.
Yes.
We got a year off, right? So I just want to challenge you to continue to think about the 49 days of CBC. I'm not sure if you've been on Facebook and seen all the stuff going on right now. If you can, go on there and check it out and share the things. We're trying to raise funds for Carolina Bible Camp. We're going to be a little short this year. We dipped into our rainy day fund to help compensate for not having the campers there this year. So if you can help us with that, we appreciate it. But I want to ask you to just kind of leave us with a going thought on what you would say to these kids as you look forward to seeing them next year.
Again, if you're looking forward to a transforming a time of great transformation and looking to be reminded of how valuable you are to God and some really awesome people, then do make plans to be with us at CBC next summer, God willing, 2021, and all of the challenges you're facing this year with COVID and more in 2020, will dim by far, once you're back on the grounds of CBC. And we hope we're able to be there with you.
Amen.
God willing.
Definitely amen that thought, and makes me think of John 10:10, right? That to have life to the fullest, right, and an abundant life. That's part of having that abundant life, where we can be who you are, and be who you are before God, where He can bring out the very best. And I think that's what CBC helps to do for all of the kids, and it's encourage them all to come back for that and let God really have His way with you.
That is so true. So true. Well, folks, it's always a blessing spending time with you guys. We're going to call it an end to the interview. I just want to say I love you and appreciate your hearts and your service to Carolina Bible Camp.
Yeah, love you, brother.
All right. We'll see you, folks.
Salt life picture.
There you go. Yeah. These are the banners that we make week 1. So you have to see that behind there. I don't know how many of those we've brought home over the years.
A lot.
I tried to get rid of them before we got home.
Our kids having a role in making this for me that extra special, so it's become a
part of our house.
There you go. There's some stories to be told.
Exactly.
I might even have video of the skits that they did that year. So
I know, right? I'm sure. I'm sure, brother.
All right, guys. Y'all take care of yourselves. All right.
Take care. Bye-bye.
See you.
Bye-bye.